Welcome back to the Friday Matinee here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am T.
I'm Don Pedro de la Cuando. So we're back here. I was talking about all the stuff going on, and of course we just had the cast, some of the cast
Oh my
members from
gosh,
In the
three-story
Heights.
high set
And-
in the Heights with Lynn. He just won the Pulitzer Prize.
Okay.
The guy who wrote In the
Right.
Heights also wrote Hamilton.
Let me Google Pulitzer real quick. I'm just kidding. But we had, and so many things going on. Of course, we had Golden Valley High School, their final performance tonight of Zombie Prom. We have Canyon High School has Little Shop of Horrors open last night. And then we have Valencia High School.
Who happens to have some of their representatives here today for a show is it opening on Tuesday? And you guys are doing The Wedding Singer?
Yes,
It's very fun. Well, welcome to the Friday Matinee, and we'll introduce all of you in just a moment. Going around the room, we have
Maddie Steerick,
Maddie,
Skylar Villanueva,
Skylar,
And Andre Shajanian.
and Andre. Well, this is a very fun. Now, none of you are old enough to remember the movie, so this is
Much less the 80s itself.
right, the 80s.
That's pretty amazing.
And so, tell me what characters you're playing, what you're doing.
I play Julia Sullivan, and that's played by Drew Barrymore.
And that's
in the movie.
Skylar and or Maddie, sorry, and Skylar.
I also play Julia.
Okay.
double casted.
Okay, and
And I play Sammy, which is the lead singer's best friend.
the best friend.
Yeah.
All right. So how are you guys, what are you thinking about the music that you've got in the show? Anybody have real strong opinions for or against?
It's very fun. It's
On
upbeat,
your
very
wedding
funny. Oh, some of the
day.
songs are so funny.
Well,
Single is my favorite song.
Yeah.
It's when all the guys get together and they dance and sing about
That's-
being single.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
his
it's
song.
actually my number. Yeah, so
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, the music's all 80s, so it's just a completely different,
So
genre.
are you kind of loving the era? Because when I was young, the 50s were a thing, and I love the 50s. And you guys, the 80s is kind of your 50s because it was so iconic. The colors, the clothes, the music. It really had its own special flavor. So are you what about the clothes? Anybody have any opinions
they're
about the
different.
clothes?
Yeah.
They're different.
Yeah.
The leather pants, yeah.
Leather
There's
pants.
Some tight pants, tight shirts, yeah.
For
When you
Julia, we don't really have very many bright, colorful, crazy outfits, but I definitely wish that we did. I love the 80s.
So is there anything in particular that you look at and you think, yeah, I'm going to incorporate that into my daily life now? 80s wise.
The parachute pants.
The parachute.
Yeah.
Aren't they comfy though?
They're great. They're great.
Super
Absolutely.
comfy. And the girls? Anything scrunchy?
The hair.
Yeah, the hair.
Big hair.
Big hair is
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Lots of
I love
hairspray.
it.
See, we have Nancy with us here too. She's the choreographer, right? Or did you direct it? Both. You did everything.
Yeah.
So this is so you're laughing because we were around all then at that time. Only portions of what I sort of remember about the 80s. Some of it was fuzzy due to nightclubbery and other shenanigans. But tell me a little bit about what did you infuse, Nancy, into your memories, or did you infuse anything?
But basically, I infused everything into this show from my time because it was my time. And being a professional dancer, singer back then, I wore all the crazy clothes. I had crazy hair. I showed the kids an actual picture of me to
Really?
show them
From
how
Solid Gold?
big my hair was.
I never got to see the big hair pictures. That's
You
I'm a little
didn't.
disappointed. We all had, by the way, big hair back in the 80s. I just want to tell you. So this is exciting. So I'm curious though, how many of you were even born in the 90s?
We all
98.
Okay,
Yeah.
so toward the end, but again, T is kind of remarked that you weren't even old enough to remember the original movie, which kind of freaks me out because it makes me feel really old. Did any of you watch the movie?
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Of course.
So, talking about this though, what have you learned about this era that now is such a nostalgic, ancient era from you guys? Is there anything that you mentioned you love the 80s? Now, is there anything you'd really want to go back to?
I think it's just more like the fun, upbeat culture, like the clothes and the hair for the girls.
Yeah.
I
my
like all
favorite.
of that. It's just fun because it's different.
And of course, the TV shows. Looking back, I thought they were really cool, but you see some of the reruns of it, they were
You're like,
kind of
what?
lame. Yeah, exactly. So, talking about this, how long has the rehearsal process been?
6 weeks about. Usually we have an extra 2, but not this year. It was a little tight because, high school testings and all that. So it's been a crunch.
A crunch. And how difficult were the dance moves that Nancy gave you?
Well, we don't dance a lot.
Yeah.
We don't
Oh.
dance like at all.
Yeah.
But looking at all the ensemble,
There's
so
a
hard for
lot
them
of
to get
ensemble work.
So, and how many
Push them.
cast members are in the show?
Way too many, honestly. We have a total of 38 that are in and out, and that's a small stage over there, so comparatively to the new ones. So,
Are we talking about Valencia High School? Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you had to be creative. Created a set to get people up higher, and,
Well, I know Nancy. In our first encounter was the full Monty, where we were rehearsing, and you thought you had so much space, and we're like, actually, we have about this much room. And then when they actually taped off the rehearsal area, but you were really, and found out how little we had.
Yes.
You were really creative with what we had to work with, and that's the thing is taking. How difficult when you have 38 people to try and move around.
It's pretty hard, actually. You just have to create space where you don't think you can, and then you also create levels with sets and use the stairs, the stoops, anything I can find, I use.
That is true, and I think we also did a few years ago. We did 9 to 5.
9 to 5,
Where
yes.
there was a million people on that little teeny
On
tiny
that
stage, and you made that
stage.
work too. So it's
Yeah,
pretty big. You had us
somehow
like I
you
think the third, fourth, fifth row out there. But we're all cranking. Excuse me,
Come
sir.
on.
We got to make this room.
Yes, they're
but,
doing that.
But fascinating. So I want to talk a little bit about we got 38 people in the show, about a 6-week rehearsal period, and so when are each of you performing? When? Who gets opening night?
I get opening and she gets closing.
I see.
He makes
Okay.
it fair over there.
That's nice.
And the lead guy playing Robbie, and there's 2 leads in Glenn. This is really fascinating. These boys are so talented. Both of them are sharing those 2 roles. So one night they're Robbie, the next night they're Glenn.
I see.
So they had to work really hard to memorize a lot and just know 2 different characters who are very different characters. So
No, I was joking around with the In the Heights cast because it's set in 2008. So I was like, how authentic are we really locked into 2008? And we all have smartphones or flip phones. Nobody took pictures with their phones back then. Paramore had just come out with their first album. What are we talking authenticity wise for someone like me who grew up in that era, and especially I'm like so eyeball things like this, like the one they did down the street a few years ago had a CD box. It definitely wasn't a CD box, and I was like,
Right.
that's not a CD box. Then the rest of the time I'm thinking, that's not a CD box. He's wearing square-toed shoes. They didn't wear square-toed shoes like that back in the 80s. You know what I mean? So is it tough coming up with things and making sure that it's at least authentic enough for someone who I'd been there?
it is very hard. Actually, I'm still at this moment trying to figure out the cell phone that he uses. Those, you remember in the 80s,
80s
those
cell
big cell phones.
They had giant ones, with the
Yeah.
backpacks too.
Yeah, so I'm thinking at this point I have a girl that may have to
build
create
one, yeah.
it because we cannot find
A
I've
block
looked
of
everywhere.
wood with some
Yeah.
wedges there. I think you're doing all right.
Right. And then there's a point where he talks about that CD player, which I looked and could not find except for, one that was way too hard. So we may just be, it's a gift, so it may
That
just
was
be
the
in
thing.
a
They
box.
put it in a box, but even the box wasn't right in the version I saw. It's like that wasn't a CD box. I sold CDs back in the 80s. Didn't I?
I know.
So T, what do you got?
I was just going to say Wedding Singer because it's a musical. The story about the way what we remember from the movie. Did you guys find some of the lines or some of the language that was being used between the love interest or other people? Did some of it? Did it resonate with you? Did you get where they were going with the dialogue, or were there things like in some plays when you do period pieces, you actually have to go back and look up the definition of what are they talking about, or the slang even. Was there anything that you, as you were reading through the dialogue, you went, what is this? Or, oh, I know what that means, or slang that, what was the wording like for you? Anything in there that stuck out?
I mean, there's a lot of 80s lingo, and I mean, especially between the guys, there's certain things that they say to each other that, I probably wouldn't say today, but I mean, I guess you go back and you really look at it and you get the definition, you kind of take on your character and really, you start saying those words, the slang too, and so, I mean, there's certain things that just kind of, I guess resonate now that I say because.
Are you
because of
saying
the
it like
reciprocity.
in the hallways or when you go home or when you're out with your friends and they say what?
Especially the adjectives, what
Like-
you know, what you use to describe
Like which ones
things.
can you that are radio appropriate? No?
Songs.
Yeah.
I had to tell them where they came from. There's songs that they're referring to in dialogue, so we had to review, and I'd say, okay, it's this song. It was Billy Idol saying this.
Ah, yes.
Trying to remember. Flashdance, we had to talk about that. That I know very well, and things like that. So they had to really go back for music.
Now, it's interesting to me, and you'll find this as you get older, that, like for me, it's such a weird thing to think that you have no concept outside of maybe a historical concept of the 80s as a thing other than maybe you're catching an episode of Remington Steele on a streaming channel or on what's that rerun TV or whatever. But finding that from the reference standpoint, again, what did you guys do? Any other research for the role or all, or to look into the 80s? Did you read any books or go to the Ronald Reagan Library or something?
Not really.
You gotta watch a lot of the movies, and I mean, I especially reference like in like a couple of my monologues about like Rocky and like Flashdance and Back to the Future and all the classics, especially with Robbie referencing certain songs from the 80s, and so you got to do your research and listen to the music, watch the movies, and just kind of it's the pop culture of the 80s, and you gotta surround yourself with everything that was going on then.
So let's talk a little bit about your past. Is this your how many and your history in theater? Maddie, where did you start? Is this your first show or is it?
Oh no, my first musical was actually Grease. I played Sandy in 8th grade, and that's when I realized I wanted to do musical theater. So I'm going to major in musical theater in college and hopefully become on Broadway star.
There it is. Now, at 8th grade, was it a junior high or was it for one of the local theaters out
It
here?
was junior high.
Ah, okay. What junior high?
Rio Norte.
Rio Norte. Okay, and I can't read your writing.
Skylar.
Thank you, Skylar. Skylar, what about you?
I also started performing when I was in junior high as well, and it started in 7th grade. She was in this too. We did South Pacific, and I was like the little French girl, so it was like a new, completely different thing to start out with, but I had to like learn French, and this girl was helping me learn that. But yeah, we've been in theater doing musicals since all 4 years of high school.
So you two are buds then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what about you? Are you gonna pursue the craft?
At this point, I don't think so, but I definitely love to do it. I know I'm gonna want to do other musicals in the future for fun.
And what about you?
My theater background's not that long. I'm more of a film student, but I started last year. But this is actually my first musical, and so like I've had a musical past. I played drums and I've sang in choir like prior, but bringing it all together, the acting and the dancing and the singing. This is kind of my first time at that.
Yeah, you find that because choir a lot of times it's just day by day, and a lot of times I mean it's there's not a whole lot of in some cases there may be some characterization, at least some sort of exuberance, but a lot of times it's a lot of standing still and singing,
Exactly.
and the choir director doing this and.
So did you hear about it, want to do it, Andre, or did someone have to pull you in and say?
I mean, I'm in the theater program at school, so I mean for the auditions, I was there and I was ready to do it. But I mean, my biggest fear was always like singing alone on stage, and that's always been holding me back. But
It'll be the recurring nightmare for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but
Standing
now-
on stage
Exactly.
and alone.
It's a
About
little
the
daunting,
practice.
but what did you do to get over it? Or is it
I mean, the
experience?
practice. I mean, working with our vocal director and getting out there and just. I mean, because I've acted before and I've always like emceed and been on stage, so it's not my first time, but the singing has always been
Again,
scary.
putting it together.
Yeah, putting it all together is kind of the big challenge, but the practice.
Doing really great,
Yeah.
and he's hysterically. Just to say, I'm going to miss these seniors tremendously because they are incredibly talented. I've been honored and lucky to have them for 4 years. So it's going to be a sad year.
I want to talk a little bit about The Wedding Singer and when it opens, Valencia High School. Opening May
3rd.
May 3rd.
That is Tuesday, and is running through
Through
when?
the 6th, Friday.
So it's a 5-day run, and tickets are available at the box office, or is there advanced reservations or anything?
There's advanced reservations online.
Oh, okay. Valencia High School, probably.
Yeah. it was,
I would say here's what you do. You go to this new thing called the inner tubes, and you go to this thing called Google, I believe is what it's called, and you type in Valencia High School wedding singer, and you just in case throw in 2016, and see what happens, because that's a lot of times this magic device they have will bring back the proper information. And you can find out all the information there as well and get your tickets. Or probably just,
You
I
can
would
get-
say go
Yeah,
for it.
at the
you
door.
can get your tickets at the door at 7 o'clock. I mean, you can reserve them online, but all the
Valencia
venues
High's a
are
great
best
place
go
to see. You were talking, Nancy Alterman, director and choreographer, about the size of the theater, but it's actually a really good
It
venue.
is. It's good for
to do. Sound and everything else is
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, and you can hear things.
I'm sorry, what? See what
You
I
can
did
hear
there?
and see
See what I
things.
did
from-
there?
Oh,
See what I did there? But Nancy, I want to talk a little bit about your background. Now, you've been on the Friday Matinee before, but let's just touch a little bit. How did you end up at Valencia High School? Let's put it that way.
This is a great story because Steve Whalen, Mr. Whalen, who has privileged me to work with him there, he and I were in acting class together in our 20s, didn't see each other for many, many years, and I don't know, I'm trying to remember now, it's been so long. He found out about me living here because he was in Orange County, I was working in LA. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Somehow he got my number and called me up. I had just had my second daughter, and I was exhausted. And I was like, do I want to audition anymore? And I was like, no, I think I'm kind of tired. So he said, come on over here. And I've been with them ever since, and it's been a while now.
Oh, a while. I like that.
12
Just kind
years,
of okay.
12 years, yeah.
And you, of course, have a background in dancing, and how did you go from dancer to choreographer?
I started choreographing professionally pretty young. It was something I was, I guess, good at. It was something given to me. Someone asked me to do an industrial show, and I did that, and then it just moved on to other things. But my focus changed because I was also an actress, so I was doing a lot of that. I just was transitioning, so the choreography professionally kind of went to the backside, and then I started doing more commercials, things like that as I got older, because you can't dance forever.
That's true.
And then I met Steve and got married, had 2 kids, just transitioned away from the professional world because it's,
Well, you're kind of a show business family because your husband's a voiceover actor, am I right?
Yes, he is,
So
still
there we
is.
are.
28 years of that.
Wow. Good for him. We should have him in sometime.
Yeah.
But he's probably working.
Not
So see
today.
how that works? See how that is? So, T, ask more questions. I'm going to run outside real quick.
What if you had like a perfect role or a perfect musical now that, especially you, Maddie, because it's something you want to do in your future, what would be your dream role?
It's always been, ever since I was a baby, Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. Are you going to go to the Hollywood Bowl to see Sarah Bareilles?
Yes, I am.
Right?
She's taking me.
And Skylar, if you could pick, because this is something you've been doing, what would you choose?
Belle
Belle.
from Beauty and the Beast. I've always wanted to play that role.
We had a little girl here yesterday we interviewed. She's only in I think she's in the 4th grade, and she plays basketball, and she said they call her Beast on the court. So if they ever do Beauty and the Beast, she wants to be the Beast.
Oh, how cute.
And Andre, if you could choose, now that you've had a bite of this and you did do it again, what do you think is your dream role? Are you familiar enough to
musicals.
yeah? Now that you've done it,
The musicals. I don't know. I'm hearing a lot about Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Sounds pretty cool.
and then, but because you're a film guy, is there a particular film then that, as an actor and theater arts person, that you think, okay, that's the role I wish I had done that, or I wish I could do that?
In a film role?
Yeah.
I wish I could be Marty McFly. That's the.
So
that's the
Back to
ultimate
the
dream. So
Future.
back to, yeah.
Okay, that's a
Back
good
in
one.
the 80s.
Yeah, Back to the 80s. Again,
Exactly.
that's a full circle for you.
I'm thinking that they should do a Back to the Future now, but they send him back to the 80s. That would be an interesting take on
Yeah.
the show. But where did we leave off?
We were just talking about what their dream roles might be if they continued on with theater, especially Maddie, since that's her.
Do you have a college
future.
picked out yet? Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go to community college for 2 years.
Okay.
And then hopefully transfer into a huge musical theater school in New York.
Well, that would be great. Just to kind of get the feet wet for college and kind of get a few other things out of the way first.
Get money.
That's a good
grow up.
idea. And there is a local community college out here that actually has a pretty good theater program itself, as you may know, because we just interviewed some of the people who were in a play that's opening at that particular community college. So, and an outstanding house, whether you work the main house at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center or even do stuff in the Black Box, either one is really super cool. So.
And
it's
Skylar,
from what I
where
heard.
are you going to next? What's down the road for you?
I'm also going to go to COC and then hopefully transfer to UCLA.
All right.
see.
And Andre, film school, is there,
Yeah, I'm planning to go to Chapman soon in the future, but yeah, I'll probably start at COC. I got some work and, making videos here and there. And
George,
getting
this
my
is
mouth
where you normally say, I will give you my headshot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, and I forgot to say that to the last
Two
group,
middle-aged
too.
people ready for your first
Right.
student film. Here we
very,
are.
Very diverse, and that's right. And I'm not afraid to, I'll do whatever it takes.
Full Monty.
Whatever it takes.
Been
So
there, done that.
I was trying to be careful there and not say that in front of the kids.
Yeah.
T. But this is very exciting. So give me the rundown again. This is The Wedding Singer, which is a stage play based on
Wedding Singer, the
the
musical.
1990s whatever music TV movie.
And it
with
was
Adam
one of
Sandler.
the most award-winning musicals when it opened on Broadway. So,
Right.
so really a
Now,
great
let me ask
pedigree.
you: does Billy Idol make an appearance in this one? Okay, just wanted to check. That's outstanding.
And
So-
it opens May 3rd, runs through the 6th, Valencia High School. You can Google, I guess, Valencia High School
Let's
and
do
get the show. And it's a 7:00 performance.
Yes.
7 o'clock.
And you guys, are you excited? Are you ready? Is
We're
Tech
so
Week,
excited.
Tech Week hurting your head a little bit?
It's pretty hard, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, between everything you have to do, because you've got school, you've got that. I mean, sleep it's a luxury. Who needs it?
Who needs sleep? No one needs sleep. Not when you're doing a musical.
Not when you're doing a musical.
No sleep.
Just go to valenciavikings.com and just go to their it'll be there. That's the
And
easiest way to
do we
find it.
want to encourage the audience to wear their parachute pants and
I would
maybe not the
say-
leather
Oh, yeah.
because it
Definitely.
squeaks. It
Yeah.
squeaks it.
I
in
would
the
say
seats, so
the
don't do
off
that.
the shoulder sweat.
Yeah,
sweatshirts
sweatshirts.
to
There you
cut off
go.
thing,
The Irene Cara flash dance.
I don't think
bit
I
of
could
business.
fit in. Now it depends. Are we talking baggy parachute pants or the tight ones with
No,
the
the
zippers?
baggy ones,
Because
right?
no, but there
Yeah,
were two
comfy
types
ones.
though. We're talking, but there were two types because there were also the ones
George, nobody wore
you
the
go out
tight
there and
ones.
ask Mrs. Cummings what I wore to
What
our
you
first
wore
date.
and what was popular.
But they're pants with zippers all over them. Those were
Yes,
also known
yes,
as parachute
yes.
pants. But they weren't always.
But they weren't as, but everybody had the comfy parachute
that's
pants.
True. That was.
and the bright neon colors and high tops were a
I'm sorry,
thing.
we're-
You still
we're-
have those.
We're reminiscing.
But no,
Sorry.
we want the audience to dress because I think it'd be a great photo opportunity afterwards with the cast. Really very cool.
Well, outstanding. Yes, I would encourage do that.
Right?
Wear your best '80s garb and attire. Grow the mullets. The big hair.
You've got a week.
What's that? Waist high pants with the acid wash. Exactly. Well, this has been fun. So, Wedding Singer at Valencia High School, starting May 3rd, Tuesday, running through Friday. Good luck. Break a leg. And we
Thank
look
you.
forward to
Fun.
having such a great time. 12:50. We'll be back with a wrap up after this. Welcome back to the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am not T.
I am T, and I'm here with the other half of T. We have Tori in the station.
Hi,
who's
guys.
Here on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I am not going to be in the rolly chair. You're the new rolly chair occupant.
I am.
And
I
so we were talking about we want to bring her in sometime, maybe let her come in on Friday matinee. But so far, how do you like being at KHTS?
I love you guys so much. There's not even enough time
Good
to say
answer.
how much I love you guys.
Good answer.
But it's true. I love you guys.
That would have been interesting. Actually, let me tell you something. First of all, there are some of the people here that are just
Oh my God,
absolute
personality-wise,
pigs.
oh, terrible.
Really quickly, we also have SKP, Stephen K. Peoples in the house here, and we have we have some things to give away today for the Summer Meltdown, right?
That's right. I'd love to be on Friday matinee. Sorry, I'm losing a day here. But Saturday, tomorrow, is the 13th annual Summer Meltdown Autism Awareness Art and Music Festival. It's at Central Park for the first time this year, so it's a really big deal. And we have free tickets for the first comers, people who will come down to the radio station and just ask for a free ticket at reception. before 5 o'clock will get a free ticket to the Summer Meltdown. And Unified Highway is headlining. Z-Trip, Catch a Fire, Whack Rat, Zony One, Through the Roots.
It's got like
30 bands,
30 bands.
30
It's huge
bands,
this year.
vendors, food trucks, all kinds
All
of
right,
neat
so
stuff.
come on down. Come say hi. I'll be in
All I
the
heard was food trucks.
food trucks,
What-
right?
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
was.
Come get them until 5 o'clock and
Come for
get
the
a
food
hug.
truck, stay for the entertainment.
So it's rock and roll. It's a great cause. So
Super.
These
come
are
on
all
down and
local
get a free
band, young
ticket.
bands, and young people getting into it, right?
Oh, not
There's all
just
kinds of
local
different-
bands. No, they come
Okay.
from
No,
No,
everywhere.
they're from,
Okay.
they're from basically from all over the country.
And some of
Wow.
them are big names.
This is
Kids
this
know
is
who
becoming
they
a
are.
destination for bands. They want to come and
the
play
new
here,
Woodstock.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Coachella?
Co-
No?
I don't know about
Okay.
that.
It's a little Coachella
It's a
in our own backyard
Coachella-ish.
here.
Mini, bite size.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, thanks, Stephen. So we will do that, and we'll don't forget to stop by the reception. Our smiling and alert vice president of First Impressions will have the tickets for you. And there's free tickets for the Summer Meltdown. We have what, nine set pairs?
9 individual tickets.
All
Nine
right, so
individual
9 people.
tickets.
Come
Okay.
on
4
over.
pairs and 1 straggler.
There we go. Your friend who's
Right,
dateless.
that's right.
Oh, nice.
Exactly.
Thanks very much.
You
Third
bet.
wheel.
Stephen K. Peoples, everybody. So Tori, you've been here. I've been listening to you. I've been tuning in.
Yes, you have.
And she's been in the chair a total of 5 times.
You're tight on the mic and even more tighter on the board. That's pretty amazing.
Aw,
That was
thank you.
stressful, right?
Thank
The
you.
board is tough.
No, you guys have no idea.
She had the Fitbit on. It was telling me that her heart rate was
Yeah.
going up to,
We were watching it just to make sure I was okay.
I think everybody in the company should have to come in and do this.
They
Don't-
really
don't you
should.
think?
I think so because I always had respect for you guys because I like you as people. But then you sit in that rolly chair and you have no idea, the people listening, what exactly. I mean, it's plate spinning times infinity.
And then, like George being on Friday Matinee, he's on the board, he's asking questions, he's looking things up on the internet.
Running out to
There's-
drag people
yeah,
in.
it's there's a lot
keep
going
talking,
on.
yes.
Keep talking. Yeah, fill in the space. So, but welcome to the club, Rusty.
Oh,
It's nice
thank
to have
you
you
so
here.
much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
So, what
Shows. We want to
Okay.
wrap up our
we
people?
do. We want to talk about, of
In
course,
the
we
Heights?
have In the Heights
I'm going tonight.
going
You are
tonight.
going.
I am. If you want a review,
And
I will give it to you.
and a remarkable writer, the gentleman who wrote it. He's a phenomenal artist.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, and Guy won a Pulitzer Prize for his Hamilton. And here in the Santa Clarita Valley, you can see one of his really remarkable shows over at the College of the Canyons Performing Arts Center. And then Valencia High popped in, talked to us about The Wedding Singer. They're opening next week. We have a valley filled with talent, George.
Exactly. Stuff going on. Canyon Theater is closing performances of CSI Wonderland and Happy Days the musical.
Oh, and they might have a
Yes.
special guest. You know, Gary Marshall and his wife came
Right.
and saw it.
Gary Marshall.
And there
yes.
might be a special guest coming this weekend when they
On Sunday, they said
Yeah.
there might. Ingrid posted that. Ingrid Boynston, the
Director
director
of-
the show,
Yeah, so there's that.
said there might be a surprise guest. Another.
I wonder if it's Jenny Piccolo because she lives out here.
It could be someone in heels.
Jenny Piccolo.
It could be someone in heels.
It might- yes,
Just
we're-
saying.
But it could be. But I'm very excited, and of course also Zombie Prom going Golden Valley
Yeah.
High School tonight, closing night, I believe.
Yeah.
What else do we have in the Heights? I think we've covered the
Ooh.
gamut.
Yeah, and if not, we'll get calls.
We've run the
298.
gamut from
Well, I can't
A
wait. I
to
have.
Z.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give the phone number again.
298-5487.
I'm getting better with the phone number. Aren't I,
Very good.
George? I'm
It's
getting better,
wonderful.
right?
It's wonderful.
They should have it on speed dial. Everyone should have it on speed dial. No
Exactly.
distracted driving.
So you're actually doing Tuesdays and Thursdays then. Is the thing
Yeah,
like a regular
the thing.
Like the full show?
It looks like it.
Wow.
thing.
T, you just dialing it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble? Or you,
No,
are you-
I've got some
are you
projects.
on your way out?
I've got some projects.
This is an
and-
awkward time to talk about it. So let's go ahead. How
No, I've
what
got
was your last review?
I've got
at the-
some projects. I've got a film project I'm working on, and I'll probably start posting some updates to tkatz.com. So
Okay.
that will
Shameless
more
plug,
to come.
shameless plug.
More to come.
Outstanding. Well, this has been the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Stick around for My Conscious Dad coming up next. Have a great day.